morning and welcome to the second hour of Tracks Momentum on this terrific Tuesday. It's International Day of Friendship, so make sure you go out and remind your friends that you are always there for them. If their tank is running on E, fill it up with all that love and compassion that you have for your friends, okay? My name is Anil on the mic, and as usual, it's a segment where we just have conversations with interesting women who've trailblazed the path that they've chosen in and coming over here in the studio, live and direct in studio number 5, to share their stories and inspire other girls, women, and men as well, because a lot of things that men can learn from women. Mind you, I've learned a lot being the host of this show. So without further ado, enough of my jibber jabber. Let's get straight into the topic we have today. Today we're going to talk about navigating estate planning and will writing. Writing a will. You know, as ambitious people, we work really hard to save a lot of money. We acquire assets. We buy homes. We buy a land, whatever it is. But it's very important to ensure that when we are no longer around, it goes to the people that truly matter to us, so that, you know, they don't end up fighting with each other and then, this person's so irresponsible, had so much of assets and never really wrote a will, isn't it? And to talk to us about that, we have an approved financial advisor, and her name is Choo Yin, and she's given me the privilege to call her Yin. Good morning, Yin.
Hi, morning, Anil.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good here. Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome. Thank you for accepting our invitation to come over here, not only to talk to us, but also to talk to the many millions of our listeners out there who are going to learn a lot of what we're going to talk today. So by the end of this conversation, we're going to break down this big topic of will writing that a lot of people are scared to listen about. Like, will writing, all right. We're going to break it down into small bite-sized pieces so that everyone walks away from this conversation knowing that it's important and they have to do something about it.
Sure.
Great. So why don't we start off by you telling us a bit about yourself?
Okay, sure. Myself, I'm an accountant by profession. Embarked into financial planning in this industry since 2006, my 18th year in the industry.
18 years.
Yeah, so currently I'm licensed with Bank Negara and Securities Commission under Harveston Financial Advisory. So probably just to introduce, the three main areas that we do in financial planning is risk management, wealth management, and our today's topic, estate planning, which is will writing.
Will writing.
Yes.
All right. Great. But before that, why did you choose to specialize in will writing? What appealed to you?
Okay. So in will writing, I would say estate planning is the big topic. Okay. Will is just a tool, a legal instrument to estate planning. Okay. Because estate planning, it encompasses, I would say, the whole financial planning. Okay, when we are looking into whether it's risk management or wealth management, eventually, yes, we want to look at how we manage our estate, even when we are alive or when we are not around.
Not around.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, to the main topic today, will writing. So what is a will, Yin?
Okay. I will probably bring you a very general and interesting understanding of the public of what is a will. Usually in drama, in movie, you can see people writing a will when they're old, when they're in the sick bed.
Sometimes just a piece of paper saying, I want my eldest son to get this, my daughter to get this, my grandkids.
Yes. Okay, so how to distribute asset, or you get lawyers, you get a doctor on the sick bed to write. And some say it's a taboo, probably. Hey, touch wood. Okay, writing a will. Yeah, are you cursing me to die the next day? Okay, so I would like to say that it is not actually. Okay, I would say in the modern estate planning, okay, will writing is just a tool, as I say, just a legal paper.
Right.
Okay, so that you can bring it to court. So in modern estate planning, we are looking at three main areas. Okay, the first one, when one is building wealth, okay, we want to look at whether the sufficiency of the estate and the liquidity. Okay, so if someone goes, whether the family has enough. Okay, so it is a planning, not the will itself that can solve the issue. Okay, then the next area we are looking at legacy planning. Those who are rich or ultra rich, okay, where they have asset, do they use it or do they leave it and not to use it to the next generation? Okay, what is the balance of it? How to distribute efficiently, leakages. Okay, so we want to try to plug the leakages and also to ensure family harmony. Like what you mentioned just now.
Of course.
Yes. And one last area that it is quite a new concept that people are looking at, the long-term care. Okay, so when we look into asset planning, we look into long-term care as well. What if you live too long and not able to take care of yourself? Okay, probably during today's discussion, I can bring up more on this long-term care.
And what are the benefits of having a will, Wayan?
Okay, to have a will, I would say it is like building a house. You need a plan to do a submission.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so that is the legal bit of it. So having a will, it will make sure that the distribution is smooth. Okay, so if you plan the whole asset planning without writing it down, okay, how would people execute it? How would the court execute it? Yes.
I see. So that's why you need a trained and approved financial advisor like yourself to help them engineer the groundwork.
Yes, and put it down in a piece of paper.
Piece of paper.
To make sure that the person that you want to distribute is your desired person. To make sure the person that you want to appoint as a certain role. Later,
Okay.
probably we can talk about it. The guardian, the trustee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is my next question.
Yeah,
What
sure.
what are the key elements that should be included in a legally sound will?
All right. Okay. Legally sound will. Will since years ago used to be voice recording before they go for a war. Probably. Hey, I want to give something to
Yeah.
my next of kin.
I got something for you.
Yes, but
Make sure.
no. In Malaysia, no, we don't recognize voice recording. Okay, so it
Oh.
must be a written will.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So yes, anyone can take a piece of paper and write a will, but make sure it is signed by two witnesses.
All right.
The testator means the person who write the will has to sign in front of the two witnesses,
I see.
vice versa, to make it legal.
Okay, so you need to have two witnesses. Yeah.
Yes,
And the
yes.
witness, part of the witness could be the financial advisor as well.
Yes, correct.
And then another person, the next of kin or the close.
No
Anyone.
next of kin. No next
no
of kin.
next of kin.
Yes, anyone but next of kin.
So not even friends. Friends
Can, as long as you don't name the person as a beneficiary, they can be a witness.
Okay, so there you go. Wyan giving us some mechanics of
Yeah,
how
that
this
is
will
yeah
work.
more detail into that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, Wyan, let's jump in for a quick break. When we come back, we'll resume with this conversation. Today on W Talk, of course, we're having chats you love and music you enjoy. And with us in the studio is Choo Wyan. She's an approved financial advisor. And she's today talking to us about navigating estate planning and as well as will writing. Don't go anywhere. W Talk, we'll be right back. Welcome back to W Talk on this terrific Tuesday. And with us in the studios, we have an approved financial advisor. Her name is Choo. I'm calling her Yin. And Yin today is talking to us about navigating estate planning as well as will writing. Yin, welcome back to W Talk.
Hi.
Now, can you elaborate on, you mentioned earlier that a will has to be witnessed by two people. Not next of kin. It shouldn't be the next of kin. It could be, one of them could be the will writer.
Yep.
Another one could be somebody who is, as long as they're not beneficiaries of the assets
Correct.
being left behind.
Yes.
And maybe elaborate on the appointment of guardianship of minor children through the will. If in case, the person who's demised has some little kids and who's to look after them.
Yeah.
That is included in the will as well, right?
Yes, correct. So, will writing, the important person to appoint actually for minor is a guardian. Who is the appropriate guardian? So, in the act, legally, yes, we can have textbook answer, okay? But practically, who to appoint as a guardian? Okay, we want to look at the person, whether the person is responsible, okay, whether they have love for your kid, not someone who actually is envy of your kid, okay? Financially sound, although they cannot touch the money, but if they are not financially stable, I don't think it's a good environment to grow up, okay? And also whether they are willing or not. So it's good to actually speak to the person that you want to appoint beforehand, before you put them in a will, because they can say, I don't want to act. And then, it wouldn't follow your wish in the will. And lastly, the person, location is very important. Okay, you wouldn't want to relocate your kid. Let's say my brother is in Australia. If anything happens to me, I have to transport my kid to live in Australia to start a new life there. That will be a big impact.
Right.
So the location, preferably they are somewhere around you, similar school that they can go to. So you don't want the changes of life too much to the next of kin.
So they have to be financially sound. They have, location-wise, they have to be within reach of the child, close proximity, not too far away.
That would be preferably. Of course, there are some, if they have no choice, they only have a sibling overseas, that would be no choice.
Okay. And what about people who are... Okay, but before that, this is something that came into my mind. Now, like I mentioned earlier on in the preface of our conversation, we are in pursuit of a good life. We earn money. We accumulate assets. We buy a home. We buy plots of land. We buy jewelry. And these are all just old school form of investments, right? And that's how people those days used to invest their money.
Yep.
Because we never had, fixed asset investments or anything to do with, stock market or nothing like that. But now it's so diversified. You can invest your money in crypto.
Yep.
You can invest your money in Bitcoin and so on and so forth. How difficult is it to navigate this space, especially when you have to, if they have a lot of assets within the crypto space, and how is it that you keep tabs on this and make sure that the right person gets to inherit all of these things that a person, especially cryptocurrency?
Okay, that is a very interesting question. We call all these digital assets.
Digital assets.
Yes. Okay, so a conventional will, like you mentioned, is all the physical assets that the conventional assets. Okay, how to manage digital asset is entirely different. Okay, so in the will, we can mention it separately.
Okay.
We can appoint a separate person to manage the digital asset, because not just anyone can manage digital assets. And of course, there is no foolproof way to handle it.
Right.
Except for we have a memorandum, we can put our passwords in how to access those accounts. Okay, so if not, we have heard of stories that the digital account is locked and millions inside, and you are not able to access, and there's no way anyone can access it.
Right.
Yes, so it is very important to take note of that. If it is very huge, the digital asset, we will need a digital asset memorandum, and we will need to appoint appropriate person to manage it with the password sealed or written somewhere.
Right. Okay. So at least there's a mechanism for that. What about people who are not married? Not married and maybe have assets, have money. Why is it important for them? I think it's much more important for them to write a will.
Correct.
Why?
So, actually, contrary to what you mentioned, a lot of people think, I'm single, I don't need to write a will, I have no one to give to.
Yes.
But I do agree with you, okay? So, for single, they have parents, okay, they might want to take care of.
Yeah.
What if they leave earlier and their parents are of an old age? Okay, so that is one reason why they need to write a will.
Okay.
And also, for a single, I would say we should look at a bigger picture.
Okay.
Apart from will writing, we are looking at estate planning. Because a single person, like I mentioned just now, long-term care would be very important because you have no dependent, you have no children to take care of you. Siblings will be of the same age. Okay, so who will take care of you at that time? Long-term care is very important. As I mentioned, if a person cannot operate on his own, okay, whether it's dementia or whether it's after a stroke, paralyzed, okay, things like that, when they cannot operate a bank account, what will happen? So here we are talking about probably setting up a trust structure to manage the long-term care. I'm sure the concept of all these private retirement homes is mushrooming.
Yes.
Okay, and it is not
Everywhere
cheap.
now, and
Yes.
it's not cheap. Yes.
Correct,
you said
correct,
that.
correct.
Now, speaking about not cheap, Wayne, I think you meet clients on a day-to-day basis. You know, you sort of highlight the importance of having these portfolios in their financial, planning, so on and so forth. And maybe there's some people listening right now saying that, you know what, I don't think I need to write a will. I don't have much money. I don't have like $1 million in the account. So I'm going to ask you now, if someone tells you, Wayne, I don't need a will because I don't have much money, what's your answer to me?
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier on, the three groups of people who need to write a will.
Yeah.
So probably this group of people will fall under the first category when they are building wealth. Okay, they are not there yet. They are not able to enjoy life yet, but they are building their wealth. Why is it more important to have estate planning rather than just a piece of paper writing
Why?
a will? Because if they are not around and if they are the breadwinner, what will happen to the family? Will they have sufficient to grow up until the kids reach 21, 25? Okay, will their wife be able to, if the wife is a housewife even more, okay, she be able to survive? Okay,
Right.
so when you are building wealth, the more important it is to look into estate planning, I would say.
So it's not about, getting a will after you've built the wealth. It's about preparing the will so that as you gradually accumulate your wealth, everything is in place. Yeah?
Correct.
Okay, I think I asked you the right question. See, this is what I love about W Talk. Things just happen out of the blue. And especially, Juliana, when women talk, amazing things happen, isn't it? Yeah, so is the case now. Choo Wayne speaking about amazing things. We'll jump in for another quick break, Wayne. When we come back, we'll resume with this discussion. For those of you who just tuned in, today on W Talk, Anil on the mic is speaking to Choo Wayne. She's an approved financial advisor. And Wayne is speaking to us about navigating estate planning and will writing. And as she just rightfully mentioned, will writing is not for those who only have a lot of money, but those who are accumulating money as well. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. TRAXXfm, Tracks Momentum, music you love, chats you enjoy. My name is Anil on the mic. Welcome to W Talk. Comes on every Tuesdays in the second hour of the show. And today in the studios, I have Choo. She's an approved financial advisor. And Wayan today is talking to us about navigating estate planning as well as will writing. Wayan, welcome back.
Hi.
Now I want to ask you a very hard question. Today is International Friendship Day, actually.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people out there have friends, they have family members, people to look out for them when they're not able to do things for themselves. But it's also important for us to pay attention and pay sort of homage to the people who are out there alone, living alone, suffering alone, not knowing if they would have someone to pick up the phones and call them and ask them if they're okay, if they had a meal, or, you know, how soon they're going to recover after falling ill. And they might have some money as well, right? They might have assets. So I should avoid using the word money. Assets.
Yep.
And what if these people completely have no next of kin, no family whatsoever, just lived life as a loner all their lives, right? Who is going to inherit? Who will technically, from your perspective, in will writing terms, in this case, who is supposed to inherit what they have, assuming they never wrote a will?
Okay. So to your question, if they never write a will, okay, so the myth a lot of people is having is, it will go to the government. Oh my God, what should I do? So maybe probably better to write a will.
Yeah.
Okay, but the truth is it is not. Okay, so we have a Distribution Act in Malaysia. So if you don't write a will, automatically it will go to your next of kin, spouse, children. Like you say, if it's single, you don't have anyone, siblings,
Right.
grandparents, great-grandparents, it will go to that extent. Okay, so if you don't have anyone, eventually then only it will go to the government.
So there is a hierarchy,
Yes.
basically. Oh,
Correct.
if this is not available, we cross that out, we look at this, so on and so forth. And then eventually, what's the end?
Eventually, if you don't write a will, it will go to the government. Okay.
So there you have it. Thank you. Credit to Juliana for actually planting that seed to ask that question. I completely overlooked that. But yes, glad that we got this one lined out. So yeah, you broke a fallacy, a myth, right? Everybody thinks that it goes to... Yeah.
Yes, that will be last in line. So I would say write a will so that you can let someone that you wish to inherit, whether it's your next of kin. Even next of kin, you might not say, I want to give equally to all my children, because one might be drug addict, bankrupt, or unfilial. So you may want to also see who you want to give more, or special need kids, or just now we mentioned probably to charity. Okay, if you are single, I'm sure you have love. Okay, for the world. Okay, whether niece and nephews or to your specific charity organization.
You said something earlier, unfilial. You know, that's something I read, filial piety, where you have that affection and love, unconditional love for your parents when they are no longer able to do things for themselves.
Correct.
And the best way for you to do that is for you to reflect back on the time when they did things for you, when you're not able to change your diapers, when you're not able to, clean yourself up. Filial piety. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah. Now, this is another thing I want to ask you. Wayan, is it expensive to get a will written?
Just to get the will written, no, it is not expensive. You can write it yourself. There are a lot of samples online, can download it yourself.
But you need to get it endorsed by someone like you?
No, not necessary. So just now I mentioned the condition is it has to be written and signed in front of 2 witnesses.
Okay.
So as simple as that.
As long as it fulfills that criteria, voila, we got a will done.
Yes, correct. But it's the estate planning that we need.
No.
Okay, not just a piece of paper.
Right.
So it's just a piece of paper. It will be very simple. Like let's say I want to give a house to 3 children. But is that the right way? Is that the most efficient way to do it? Imagine 3-person joint name owning an asset eventually. One say I want to sell, I want to live here, I want to rent here. That wouldn't create a family harmony.
Right. So I can say that assuming this piece of paper right now is Anil on the mic's will, and I've written this at my present age. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. But Yuan, your expert opinion to me would be that Anil on the mic, this is not a definite document. It's a document that needs to be updated constantly, right? Because my views, things like that will change over time. Am I right?
Not as constant as like every year.
So how often should a will be updated then?
Okay, I would categorize it as 3 category when you will need to review or update your will. Okay, firstly is a change in life event, when you get married, okay, when you have kids, or when you get divorced. Okay, so any changes in life circumstances, okay, you should review the will and see whether it is still the same way of distributing.
Right.
Next, if you have change in assets, okay, so overnight billionaire probably, okay, you will have a lot more to consider. Not only in terms of the category of assets to put in, but how you want to distribute. It may change if you have suddenly, a lot of assets. Okay, and lastly, if your intention change, if your objective change. Okay, so like just now, for example, I say, suddenly I find that this kid is unfilial. So probably I want to write him off the will. Or somehow I have a second family, illegitimate child outside. Okay, these are the intentions that may change. Okay, you may want to provide them. Of course, there are better ways to plan for that if you are talking about the illegitimate child.
Right.
Okay, but yes, these are the circumstances where we need to review.
Okay, great. I think we learned a lot, isn't it, Juliana? Yeah? Wyan did a great job in, like what I said, breaking this topic of will writing down into bite-sized pieces. And, it's, I think our listeners have got sound bites of information that's required and enough for them to be, informed to go and make some decision on will writing.
Yep.
Now I just want to talk about your career. You've come this far. You said 18 years you've been a will writer. What's the landscape like for women being involved in this line of work, in the profession that you're in, will writing and estate planning?
Women involved in this career. I would say, more and more women are embarking into this, I would say, financial planning career.
Okay.
Be it women or men, I would say it's a very rewarding job. Okay, so for me, I grow together with my client. Okay, from when I'm in my 20s to, let's not talk about my age now.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can see different stages of life that they are going through. Okay, so from being single to getting married to having kids, okay, it's very different, and able to plan in terms of wealth management and can see that they can secure themselves for retirement. Okay, it is very fulfilling. And when it comes to estate planning, I have also done cases where they fall ill or the family member actually passes away. Okay, so whether it is sufficient actually for the family to continue, and how I assist the families subsequently after they are passed.
I think that's the edge that a financial planner should be giving to a client, not just approaching them, knocking on their doors and pestering them over the phones to buy a policy or to buy this. It's that professional service where you provide them, where you educate them on how to manage their money, what to do with their money. Because sometimes they say if you save up your money over a long period of time, you will lose its value due to inflation and so on. So it's important for you to know where to invest your money, what to do with it. And we need more people like you. And speaking about people like you, I'm sure there are lots of girls who are listening to our show right now who probably want to be just like you, Wyan, who admire your beauty, your hairstyle, your presence, your persona, and so do I. So the producer Juliana, love to. We enjoy this conversation with you. But what is your message to them? This is what I want you to do. I want you to look into the camera. We are live on TikTok right now. And I want you to plant some seeds of inspiration so that girls who are pursuing their education, women who are maybe lost at a crossroads in their lives, can lift themselves up and say that, hey, I shouldn't give up. I can do something with my life.
I would say for girls out there, or can I say generally, girls or guys?
Girls or guys, because I told you, men learn a lot from women too on the show.
Yes. I would say, welcome to Explore Financial Planning. It is very robust industry.
Okay.
I would say Malaysia, we are still following, lagging behind Singapore, in Australia or US or UK. How in terms of the financial planning landscape. So we are very new here, and we are really in need of approved and qualified financial planners. So welcome and explore the industry.
Okay. Of course, explore the industry because there's so many things that you can specialize in as well.
Yes.
Many streams of specialization when it comes to financial planning. But of course, having a strong fundamental or background in some formal education. In your case, it's accounting, so you're pretty good with numbers. So I would rather trust someone like you with my money. Yeah. So we'll talk. We'll talk a little later after this, Wyan. Yeah, because I got some money, not much, but yeah, it'll be good to have it managed by you. But anyway, Wyan, thank you so much for setting aside your time. We had a great conversation, isn't it, Juliana? And we look forward to having you in the studios. And you have a lovely day ahead.
Yeah, thank you,
Wyan.
Anil.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, there you have it. That's a wrap for today's edition of W Talk. We learned from Wyan about will writing and also navigating estate planning. And as she said, will writing is not only for those who have money, but those who are en route to accumulating wealth as well. Now, tell you what, if you missed out on any part of this very interesting conversation I had with Wyan, you can always catch the replay by visiting TRAXXfm Official's YouTube channel, as well as TRAXXfm Official's Facebook page. Time on the clock right now. We're about 12 minutes away from the top of the hour, which means at 12 o'clock, bang on, I'm going to cross over to the RTM News Center for the 12 o'clock news flash. And then after that, I'll be back with you for the third leg of Trax Momentum. And my message to all the men out there, make sure you respect a woman when you see her, okay? Ain't that right, Aretha Franklin?